Hi, I'm Wendy LeBolt, and I'm coming to you from Fit to Finish. And today I want to talk about something that's important to all the people that work with youth athletes, and it's concussions. We need to prevent them. The problem is they're happening in large amounts to our men, young men on the football field primarily, and the women, our girls, are experiencing concussions at a high rate on the soccer field. We need to address that in three ways. An article that I've recently published on Soccer Wire talks about the first and the second, and this is the third. First, we need to educate. We need to educate our players, we need to educate our parents, and as coaches, we need to know what concussions look like, what the symptoms are, so when we see them, we can pull that athlete off the field. Coaches, we need to be teaching at a young age proper heading technique. The thing we found, the difference between boys and girls and the incidence of concussions is they're happening way more often in girls. And part of that has to do with how girls head the ball, how they experience the blows on the field. Boys, they've got strong cores, strong upper bodies, strong shoulders, and they tend to head the ball by attacking it, coming into the ball and attacking it with their whole upper body. Girls don't do that. Girls don't have the upper body strength. And so instead they go up and they kind of protect themselves with their hands and head just with their head. This, we think, is really contributing to the power, the impact, the shaking that happens to the brain inside that skull, and that's what they're experiencing as concussions. The third thing, girls aren't as strong. We know that. They're not as strong in their upper bodies. And so this is what I want to talk to you today is how we can bring fitness and strengthening, neck and shoulder and back strengthening to our girls in a simple way. You can do this on the field with your players. So I want to talk to you today about three ways that we can address that. And I've got equipment here to show you. I'm going to use the exercise ball. You can pick that up at a sporting goods store or any variety store near you. You probably already have one in your house. I'm going to talk to you about using the exercise band as a tool for strengthening. And the resistance bands that I use those on the field with my players. In fact, if you train with Fit to Finish, each of your players gets a resistance band. They come in several different resistances, and I use them for different resistances for different ages. The third approach, we're just going to use their bodies, kind of in the calisthenics variety. Use their bodies on the field to strengthen the core, the shoulders, and the back. So what is neck strengthening? We're actually not really talking about strengthening the muscles so much in their necks. What we're talking about is this sheath of muscles that runs up their back, that starts in the lower back, attaches on the shoulder blades, attaches on the back of the shoulders, and runs up their necks and attaches up here at the base of their skull. It's this that we want to strengthen in almost an isometric way, that is, strengthening it without moving it, so that when the ball comes in the header, they can resist that jerking back, or the same from the side, or that angular rotation that happens that we know shakes the skull. So strengthening. Let's first take the ball, and the exercise ball, and we'll use some hand weights. I've got 5-pound weights here. And I'm going to show you 3 exercises that I recommend for back and neck strengthening. I like the ball particularly because it's a functional exercise to begin with. Rolling out on the ball immediately requires that you establish your balance, your core body balance and body strength by resisting the urge to move backwards and forwards, and it becomes a functional exercise that way. So balanced on the ball, we're going to take our 5-pound weights and the lower part of the trapezius, that superficial muscle that runs all the way up the back, and we're just going to take, and the palms are turned in, the wrists are neutral, the shoulder blades are pulled back, the shoulder blades together, and we're going to just lift the weights up and then slowly lower just to neutral. Lift them up, count to 2, slower, and down. The second one is a little more difficult. We're going to balance again to stabilize on the ball. We're going to start in that neutral position and just lift upwards and slowly lower a little bit. This is not a flapping, it's a slow raise, to, and down. Really pulling those middle fibers of the trapezius together and the rhomboid muscles that pull on the scapula in the middle. Finally, we're going to raise to the front, working on those upper trapezius muscles. These are the ones really stabilizing the neck. We don't want to extend our neck. The neck is in a neutral position. And we're going to lift one and hold, and the other and hold. And you can see me stabilizing my core as I move to balance one and then the other. Pretty simple exercises. Fun. The second thing I want to show you are the resistance bands. Again, you can find these at most sporting goods stores. This yellow band is fairly moderate resistance. You can get them with larger resistance. I have it looped here around an outside fence post here. You can also get, the TheraBand people produce a loop that you can hook to the center of your band, and that loops around a door in your house. You close the door and then all of a sudden you have a strengthening machine. I also take this on the road with me when I travel. So you can use these, or you can also use these fitness bands. I actually use these on the field with kids. Each of them has a band in their hands. You have to watch because they'll snap each other with them. But after they do that, I have them loop each other's bands, one band within the other, and then they're going to do these same exercises as a partner exercise, so that becomes fun. Fitness is supposed to be fun. So same exercises with the band. I'm going to stabilize my weight. We're going to just pull backwards. And the same count. 1, 2, strengthen in the core, and then back again. Everything, you shouldn't let it go slack. I'm going to pull and back. We can do the same thing in the middle. Again, stabilizing, we're stabilizing, outward, and relax, outward, and relax, those rhomboids. And then finally, really stabilizing, we're going to raise up and alternating the other arm. This one, you can really tell, I even have trouble talking while I'm doing it because I have to almost do the Valsalva maneuver and hold my breath to stabilize that chest and core so that I can pull against that. That's the way our muscles work, right? We have one part that's holding against one part that's moving. And that's what we're after, stabilizing our core, building and stabilizing those shoulders so they can hold that head against the resistance of the ball or the collision. Finally, on the field, our favorite equipment on the field, the exercise balls, known as soccer balls. Most of you are probably familiar with the plank exercise. I have our kids just plank. What I found is that most of the kids have not been shown this exercise properly. They'll sag with their hips in the middle, or they'll cheat with their butts up in the air. We want to make sure that they're in the plank position, again, stabilizing their cores. Now, why not take that exercise and modify it so that we're really strengthening those shoulders and bring those hands wide and lower them down. Now they're in that strong position they have to hold. And finally, if you have some real tough customers, why not have a couple of exercise balls they have to push up on? Now this provides an interesting gait. If you want to do a passing exercise, why not have these guys balancing their plank positions for gaits? Who needs cones when you have kids who can provide your gaits? Now there are some even simpler exercises they can be doing all the time with their bodies. Remember, we want to strengthen in those muscles in the back. So I tell my kids, you think that they think you're going to get a rest, right? Lie down on the field, push those elbows, shoulders to the ground, and do an isometric push back into the ground. Hold that thing for 20 or 30 seconds. You're also instructing that position that you want them to be in the air, defending themselves against customers coming from either direction. those kids who are riding in the cars everywhere on the way to those travel games that are far away, they can even sit and push their heads against the headrest in the car. That's an isometric exercise. It's a strengthening exercise. They can't do it themselves pushing this way because we move that attachment of the rhomboids, and so that slips and makes it more ineffective for this maneuver. But just pushing against, that works. They can resist this way and resist this way to actually develop these muscles that you can see, your sternocleidomastoid muscles on either side, to resist against that ball that catches them from the side that they're not ready for. So these are 3 ways, using the ball, using the bands, using their bodies, that we can address and bring fitness and strengthening to these kids so they can resist these injuries and keep them playing strong and fit to finish. This is Wendy LeBold. Thanks very much.